Hello? Can you hear me? 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 Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Are you there? And so a new chapter begins. Corrupt Salvo. I think you just joined the Discord today, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome, welcome. LJL, what is good? Other than that, everything, dude. Everything. What about you? Well, hold on a second. I'm not seeing the chat pop up. How goes that nice belch? Thank you, Dexter. Dexter, thank you. Hold on a second. My chat's not coming up. Which it should be. What is going on? You guys can't see the chat, can you? In the stream? Yeah, no. That's weird. It was working last week. There we go. There we go. All of a sudden it just kicked on there. Okay. Evening, Nick and chat. What's up, Johnny? We cannot see this ghost chat. Let me switch it to boxed, actually. Shouts out boxed. I think about that commercial every time I say boxed. Okay. Should be boxed out now. Try sending some stuff. I'm wondering if you can only use the one type on YouTube. Like if you can't use the box. Well, that doesn't make any sense because that's boom. Boom. Just chilling. Hell yeah, Johnny. That's what we're all about here. Just chilling. Okay. Welcome to the Friday Night Deck Reviews. You guys know how this works. We got 2 decks we're going to take a look at today and see what these guys are looking for the deck. So the first deck is called the Bird Feeder, submitted by Soots. This is a Donell Herald of Wings deck. They say the goal is to cast flying creatures every turn, so Donell can copy it. Flash effects, let me do it even on opponent's turns. It's a casual deck. Win condition, build a big flying board of small creatures with at least 1 Anthem creature, then cast Sakashima's Will to turn all the flyers into the Anthem creatures, so basically a mono blue cobbled together Crater Hoof. That's very cool. Favorite interaction. I love using bounce creatures to bring back a creature I want to copy again. Example, Quickling, a Defiler of Dreams. Okay. Ethereal Investigator is a pet card of mine. Having 2 of them doubles the production of 1/1 flying spirits when I draw my second card each turn. And this deck draws a ton of cards. Decking myself with 2 Curiosity Crafters. Okay. It's a good interaction. What do you hope to get from your review? To show off my deck, to get some new card recommendations. We're always good at that. And a Patreon member is what Soots is. So big shout out to Soots. And then over here it says too many birds. If you do not know, hold on a second. I ate some soup. Hey, as did I. Had some Mrs. Grass soup. Little Mrs. G's action. How much does it distract from the view if there isn't additional tags for the cards? What exactly do you mean? Talking about these tags? I love these tags. This helps me get through the deck so much quicker. Okay. So Anthem effects. Gravitational shift. Creatures you control with flying get +2/+0. Creatures without flying get -2/-0. That's really cool. Patrician Geist. Other spirits get +1/+1. Spells you cast from grave cost 1 less. Supreme Phantom gives other spirits 1/1. And Windborn Drake gives other creatures you control with flying +1/+0. Pretty cool. Yeah, those tags. Just my deck never have them. It's okay if they don't have them. It just takes us a lot longer to get through the deck because I'm not sure. I end up reading like some card draw and some mana ramp and stuff. Patrick Heimstra. Finally caught one live. Yes, you did. Yes, you effing did. Board wipes. We got Fairy Slumber Party and Spectral Deluge. For clone effects, I think these are ones that are gonna. No. These are not ones that are gonna copy the whole board. Never mind. 6 and 2 blue for a Astral Dragon, 4/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 tokens that are copies of target non-creature permanent, except they're 3/3s. That seems really good. You could copy Gravitational Shift twice. Seems pretty gross. Malleable Imposter. 3 and a blue. 0/0 flash flying. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature an opponent controls, except it's a fairy shapeshifter in addition to its other types and has flying. That's a $20 card. Wow. Sure. Mockingbird. You can copy a token for 1 blue or just match the CMC of something and copy it. Pretty cool. Especially when our anthems, I'm sure, are going to be pretty small, as we saw. Yeah, 3-drop, 2-drop. These are 5-drops, but 3-drop, 2-drop. Okay. Card draw, we got Cloudkin Seerin, or Seer, Curiosity Crafter, Defiler of Dreams, Distant Memory, or Melody, Fairy Mastermind, Ledger Shredder, holy crap, Loyal Drake, Mole Drifter, Reconnaissance Mission, Tide Skimmer, and Wind Reader. Thanks. Whenever you tag with 2 or more. Oh, if you could turn your whole board into a Time Skimmer too, that seems really good. Twinning Staff. 3 for an artifact if you would copy a spell or 1 or more times. Instead, copy it that many times plus an additional time. You may choose new targets for the additional copy. What are we running this one for in the deck specifically? What's this one doing? Finishers. The commander copies flyers. Twinning Staff makes extra copy. Oh, that works like that? That's cool. I had no idea Twinning Staff worked like that. Oh, because the commander does it with a spell. Creature spell with flying. Okay, I'm slow. That's cool though. I had no idea that Twinning Staff worked like that with cards that were worded like that. That's very, very good. Sakashima's Will. Choose a creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. Shadow Puppeteers. 6 and a blue for a 4/4 flying. Ward 2. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 blue fairy. Rogue creature tokens with flying. Whenever a creature you control with flying attacks, you may have it become a red dragon with base power 4/4. That seems really good. 7 mana is a lot, but Final Word Phantom. 2 and a blue. 1/4 flash flying. During each opponent's end step, you may cast spells as though they had flash. That's actually really cool. Again, cast at flash speed, high fate trister. Rattle chains let you cast your spirits as though they had flash. Graveyard Hate. Canoptic will exile a graveyard and give you a bunch of 1/1 artifacts. Always love that. Interaction and offer you can't refuse. Arcane Denial. Counterspell. Familiar's Ruse. We got a ton of interaction and counterspells in here. Sirens. March. Sower Temptation. Thieving. So a couple ways to steal stuff as well. A few ways to steal stuff. Protection, we've got Quickling being a 1 and a blue 2/2 flash flying. When Quickling enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you return another creature you control to your hand. And Zephyr Sentinel, I think, does the same thing. Return up to 1 target creature you control to your hand when it enters. If it was a soldier, put a 1/1 counter on Zephyr Sentinel. Okay. What was the interaction with these again? You said something about this. I love using bounce creatures to bring back a creature I want to copy again. Oh, that is cool. Bounce a flyer back to your hand, cast it again, so Donell makes you another copy. That is sweet. Okay, ramp. We don't really need to go over, except for this one. Creatures with flying cost 1 less. Removal, we got Kite Sail Larcenist, which lets you steal something, I think. Choose up to 1 target artifact or creature the player controls for as long as you control Kite Sail Larcenist. The chosen permanence becomes a treasure. Ooh, that's really good. I actually need to get one of that. Or one of those. That's really, really good. Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, Reality Shift, Token Generators, Astral Dragon, Canoptic Swarm, Ethereal Investigator is great. You get to investigate a bunch of times when you draw your second card. Put a 1/1 Spirit into play. And Fairy Artisan, 3 and a blue, 2/2 flying. When a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a token copy that's a copy of that creature, except it's an artifact in addition to other types. Then exile all other creatures created with Fairy Artisan. This is insane. What the hell? This is just like an ETB doubler in a bounce deck. It's also just like, hey, keep the most current one you've made as an actual physical body. That's crazy. 82 cents especially. Like, what? Really good. Cloud of Fairies and Peregrine Drake will both replace their mana cost when they're played, and I'm sure there's some shenanigans we got going in this deck to interact with that. Untagged creatures, Augury Owl when it enters, scry 3. Fairy Vandal, 1 and a blue for a 1/2. Again, with this deck, you're playing 1 and a blue to get 2 scry 3s and 2 bodies with Donell. Fairy Vandal, whenever you draw your second card, put a +1/+1 counter on Fairy Vandal. Again, make your whole board a copy of Fairy Vandal. That seems good. Fogbank, best blocker ever. Tempest Djinn, 3 blue, 0/4 flying. Gets +1/+0 for each island you control. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sold on Tempest Djinn. The untappers seem great because you'll get copies of them with Donell, so you'll untap even more. PMAC Dance Dude has become a member. Thanks, my guy. Always appreciate you, PMAC. There was one other one where I was like not really feeling it. Oh, I think Shadow Puppeteers is too much. 7's a lot. Okay. I do have some suggestions for this one though, actually. There's a couple cards that can turn your whole field into stuff that I think you should also run in addition to the ones you got. Naga Fleshcrafter is fantastic because not only is it a clone, and your deck likes clones, you can exile it from your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and your whole board becomes a copy of the creature you put a 1/1 counter on until end of turn. So it's doing overtime in your deck. It is a clone that comes back as one of those effects you're looking for. I love this card a lot. There's one that I just picked up. What was it for? Was it for Taval? Or was it for Arna? I think it was called Nanogene Convergence. Yeah. Choose target creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature, except it isn't legendary. This one's very, very good because you could have all your creatures become Donell, and then the next time you play a bird or anything with flying, just get a shit ton of the copies for that bird or whatever it is with flying. PMAX says mirror form also. 4 and 2 blue instant. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent. Ooh. This one even more so because you could target gravitational shift with that one. That's real good. Let me look. That deck actually might have some stuff that's good for this. I think it's my Arna deck, if I'm not mistaken, and I rarely am. I'm so excited. I got the cards ordered for Kelsian. Is that his name? Kelsian the Plague. I always mix it up with Kells and stuff like that. Gotta be Kelsian. Very pumped. It's actually working out. Didn't expect to go kind of a pseudo goad direction with it, but I'm actually pumped that we ended up doing that. Tempest Djinn seems nice since the copies are 1/1, so it still gets huge. Oh, true. Copying the Tempest Djinn seems busted. Lofty Denial, Winged Words, and Gust of Wind are also cool cards that have some flying interaction. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. If you control a creature with flying, that spell's controller must pay 4. Winged Words is a good one. 1 less to cast if you have a creature with flying, so a 2-drop draw 2. And then Gust of Wind. 3 and a blue, it costs 2 less to cast if you control a creature with flying. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Those are all really good. Mirror form is permanent. Schmackle123. Hi Nick, new to the streams. Love your videos. What's up, my guy? Thank you, thank you. I'm excited about the next videos coming up for Sunday, Monday. I think you guys are gonna like them. Okay, let's see here. Mono blue flyers. Okay, all right. Hold on. Let me check something really quick. Even like a couple in this deck, I think would be worth it. Before I spoil anything, let me check. Oh, oh. Oh. Okay. 2 ads that I think you should do here. That I think would be great. First ad is how am I forgetting that name of that card? It's the 1 in a blue. You can discard a card to make it unblockable. When it untaps, you can pay 2 to draw a card. Ghostly Pilfer. As soon as I was explaining it, I was like, popped into my head. Ghostly Pilfer. First off, add Ghostly Pilfer. I just think this is a great card draw piece. Being able to be unblockable and do that, but it's also a rogue. And your deck also runs 4 other rogues that have flying, and you need to run Notorious Throng. Is it Notorious? No. 3 in a blue. Create X 1/1 black fairy rogue creatures with flying, where X is the damage you dealt to an opponent this turn. If its prowl cost was paid for 4 and a blue, you can take your extra turn. You can only pay its prowl cost if you dealt damage with a rogue this turn. And you've got 4 rogues in your deck that already have flying, so it's going to be really easy to deal damage with them. So this is just a make a ton more flyers, take an extra turn card. I love Notorious Throng. I think this card's fantastic. If I have any excuse to run it, I run it. I've been a big fan of Shadow Puppeteers in the past. It's 7 mana, but it's really is like a Crater Hoof with 2 tokens attached for flying decks. That's fair. If it wasn't already locked into getting my 100 deck budget mono red to Nook deck, I'd be adding your budget card. That's fair. There's only so many decks somebody can build, dude. Try to course 2 mana if you attack this turn, draw 2. Try to course seems good. Draw 2, then discard a card unless you attack this turn. That seems good. Hmm. What else we got going in chat? What's the card that is similar for blue? Glass Pool. Oh, Glass Pool. Two into blue enters as a copy of something, or it's a land on the back. On the back, can't go wrong with that. What's the card that is similar to blue? Glenalendra Archmage seems pretty good for this deck. 3 and a blue, 2/2 flying. Sacrifice Glenalendra. Counter target non-creature spell persist. That seems great in this deck. Damn. You just get 3 non-creature counter spells essentially. No favorable wins. Favorable. Yeah. 1 in a blue. Creatures you control is flying. Get +1/+1. Yeah, that seems like an ad for sure. Lunar Slate. Yo, how you doing, Nick? Good. How are you, Lunar? Schmeckle 1, 2, 3. I know it's 6 mana, but would Imposter Syndrome be good here? Oh, maybe the Spider-Man one. Am I spelling this wrong? Oh, Impostor and Imposter. That's weird. Okay. 4 and a blue. Whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't a legendary. I mean, that's pretty good. That would definitely be. But this kind of seems like a win more card in this deck, though. Oh shit, there's a considering. I always forget the considering. Considering Brainstorm, Coastal Piracy, Lofty Denial, Cage Sun, Shrieking Drake, Gust of Wind, Subtlety, Dazzling Sphinx, Schema Thief, Spectral Artisan, Favorable Winds, Hunting Invitation, Winged Words. Even if you do suggest stuff on the considering, that could be confirmation that probably should be added. Imposter Syndrome does seem very good. What else do I have in here that would be good? These have flying on them? Kind of sick. They do not. Got these sleeves. I think they're Dragon Shields, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they're not. But they're like these little critter sleeves, and they smell like maple syrup. And a bunch of people that have bought them said they smell like maple syrup as well. That is super weird. And then the other day I went to the store and the guy working was like, "Oh, I got a batch that smelled like Chinese food." And I was like, "What?" And he had these exact ones, and I'm like, "No way!" And I smelled them, and I was like, "That smells like an egg roll." Very weird. It was very weird. Oh, you know what you should do? I think this deck really should lean into that whole turning your whole board into one thing. I think a Plague Mirror would actually be a thing that would be funny because you could just use it as mana ramp, 2 drop, the 2 drop mana dork. Just any deck's gonna run that anyway, and then late game be like, I have 15 flyers in play. I'm gonna Nano Gene and turn my whole board into Plague Mirror. Just bash you. That's what I do in my Arna deck. That's what I do in my Arna deck sometimes. Um, what else we got? Oh, there's a bunch of stuff. Doing good. First time catching you live. Hey, Lunar. That's cool. Chameleon would also be great in here. Chameleon. Oh, yeah. He is so good for how cheap he is, by the way. Le Chameleon. 3 in a blue, 2/3 that enters as a copy of something, a creature, except its name is Chameleon. Just like a spark double, kind of. That literally is an uncommon, and it costs like 30 cents, 80 cents. That's great. It's great for Aang for CDH, which is where I use him. I pretty much run him in any blue deck at this point. Who are you guys building? We're taking a look at Sutz's Donell Herald of Wings deck and offering some suggestions. We're playing non-legendary creatures with flying. We're making token copies of those things. Playing some anthems, turning our boards into copies of stuff with stuff like Sakashima's Will. To just win games. Big old board, big old flyers. Sprite Noble seems alright. I think it's Starry Noble now. 1 and 2 blue for a 2/2 flying. Other creatures you control with flying get 0/1. Tap it. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0 until end of turn. It's not bad. Especially if you get a copy of it, you can just tap both of them and you get a +2/+0 anthem. I like that. It's actually not bad. Oh god, who's the mono blue spirit card? I forgot. That copies or makes a spirit every turn. Copies or makes a spirit every turn. Oh. Mirror Hall Mimic. Haunting Imitation. There's also the blue spirit from the Avatar set. Whenever another non-token spirit you control enters, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token with this creature can't be blocked. Sucks that it doesn't have flying. Exile another creature you control, return it to the battlefield at the beginning of the next. Baboon Spirit's pretty cool. Whispering Wizard. I think he said he had that in here already, though. I didn't see it. Didn't he say something about Whispering Wizards? Like in his thing? No, Ethereal Investigators. Maybe Whispering Wizards would be worth it. Non-creature spells turn into 1/1 with flying. Kind of cool. No, there's literally a card named the Blue Spirit. Oh. From the Avatar episode. Gotcha. 3 in a blue, 2/4. You may cast the first creature spell you cast each turn as though it had flash. Whenever a non-token creature you control enters during combat, draw a card. That seems great. Again, make copies of your stuff during opponent's turn. Draw cards off of it too. I'm thinking of the Mimic. Great card for this. The Mimic? The Mimic! Also, no music feels a little weird. Let me get you some music then. Let me get you some music then, big boss. Video asset. Highlight. Open. Can you hear that? The transforming mimic would be good here too. Is that the name of the card? Rug of Smothering. Ooh, yeah, get 2 Rug of Smotherings. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 1 life for each spell they've cast before that, which is 2 life now. That's insane. No, you passed over it a couple times. Oh, what's the name of it? So I can look it up. Spectral Sailor's not bad. 1 for a 1/1 flash, flying, 3 and a blue, draw a card. Not terrible. It's alright. Mirror Hall Mimic, 3 and a blue, 0/0. You may have Mirror Hall Mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature, except it is a spirit in addition to its other type. 3 and 2 blue to disturb. You may cast this card from your graveyard transformed as Ghastly Mimicry. Enchant creature at the beginning of your upkeep. Create a token that's a copy of enchant creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other type. If Ghastly Mimicry be put into the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. That's not bad. That seems pretty good, actually. Mausoleum Wanderer seems great. 1 blue, 1/1 flying. Whenever another spirit enters, put a 1/1. Or sorry, this gets 1/1 until end of turn. Sacrifice this creature. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays X. Where X is this creature's power. Pretty good, honestly. Yeah, Mausoleum seems great. You know, it'd be kind of funny is running, maybe not Kyrie could kind of be funny because you could pay 4 and 2 blue for him, but it's non-legendary. Donell does non-legendary. Never mind. Let me see what I got in my other one. Just for gigs and shiggles. Ooh. Oh, you already have that one. Would Petey Pikey's pickle peppers be good in here? Would Peter Parker's camera be good in here? To copy a triggered ability? Isn't Donell's a trigger ability like when you cast? Whenever you cast? So you could get like another one with that, or you could run what's the other one called? Cryonic Resonator. Get more Donell triggers? That could be interesting. Starfield Vocalist is interesting, but Donell's a cast trigger. I don't know how many ETBs he's gotten here, because Donell is an on-cast trigger, which makes it weird. PP Mac. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Rings of Brightheart. That's an activated ability doubler, right? Whenever you activate an ability, you may pay 2. Yeah, his is a triggered on Donell. So I think Strionic and Peter Parker's would be the way to go if you wanted to copy those for that ability, which I think isn't bad. Let me think. What would be good? What about just like something like Gauntlet of Power? Choose a color. Creatures you control the chosen color get 1/1. Whenever you basic land you control becomes tapped for that color, you add an additional. All your blue taps for double now. All your flyers get 1/1 because all your creatures get 1/1. That just seems like a good card in this deck. Like 1 or 2 of your cards can even make all your creatures become copies of a permanent, so you could do that with Gauntlet of Power too. It'd be kind of nasty. Overlord of the Flood Pit seems kind of cool. Three and 2 blue, 5/3 impending for 1 and 2 blue, flying. When it enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Ooh, yeah. Just impending this dude and get 2 of them waiting to pop out as 5/3s. I like that one a lot in here. Oh, I thought this had flying. I don't know why, because it's swimming in the water. Like that thing in the water? Oh, we got flying. Non-budget stuff, Wandering Archaic and Twinning Staff. Wandering Archaic would be good. That should be really good. Oh, Wandering Archaic doesn't have flying? What? Twinning Staff is in here. Wandering not having flying is insane to me. Muff is flying around. He is literally flying around. I'm gonna reload this really quick. Lost the chat. Anyway. Wait, how does impending even work with Donell? Because both modify the spell on the stack. One to make it not a creature, one to make it a 1/1 creature in addition to its other type. Ooh, I actually don't know. Not sure how that works. I just moved to America from Poland and it has been an eye-opening experience. Hey, that's cool. Wilcompton, how are you? That's a very, very cool experience right there. How do you like Poland? Big fan? How do you like America? Is it okay? Are we as dumb as I think we are? Virtue of Knowledge, great card in this. Fractured Realm also. Virtue of Knowledge. 4 and a blue. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes the triggered ability of a permanent trigger. We don't really have anything that has ETB triggers though. The copy an activated or triggered ability could be used to copy Donell, but like the deck I don't think has very many ETB triggers, if I'm not mistaken. Fractured Realm. Oh, Mirror Room goes in every deck, dude. This is becoming a meme on the channel. 2 and a blue, make a token when it comes into play, and then if you unlock the 5 and 2 blue, if a trigger ability of a permanent you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. That seems great in Donell. This is perfect. Such a good card. It really does go in every deck. Muraganda Raceway. The land, start your engines, tap for colorless, tap for 2 colorless. That seems good in here. You're gonna be definitely doing damage with birds. So max speed is not too far away. Okay, it isn't as weird as I thought it would be. Overlord is just a non-creature enchantment that becomes a 1/1 once all foreboding counters. Oh, okay. So that's how the copy one works. Cool. Very interesting. Okay. Any more last minute suggestions here? This is why I like tags on the decks, because decks go so much faster when we have tags. We would have still been looking at the deck without tags. Meringue River Regent is a lot of mana, but it seems. Ooh, this is such a good card. This would be great in here. 4 and 2 blue, 6/7 flying. When this creature enters, return up to 2 target non-land permanents to their owner's hand. Yeah, in this deck, you get a 6 blue for 12 power, bounce 4 things back to someone's hand. Sure. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Also, sure. That's nuts. That's such a good card in here. Quantum Riddler is great in here. Quantum. 3 and 2 blue, 4/6 flying. When this creature enters, draw a card. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many cards plus 1. Every time I read this card, I'm like, I don't understand but it is. But apparently it is. I'm gonna trust it. Unagi. Ooh, that's what I say when I find a chicken nugget slid between the couch cushions. Unagi. 3 and 2 blue, 5/5. Flash Ward, waterbending 4. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw 2 cards. And it has does that have flying? Oh, it doesn't have flying. Well, that's lame. Still just a good card. 7 power since the copy is a 1/1, but still good. Oh, true. I forgot the copies are 1/1. Quantum Misalignment if you want more copies to make more copies to make more copies. 4 and a blue, sorcery, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it isn't legendary. Rebound. Yeah, make a copy of Donell, and then another copy of Donell, and then just start making copy. Sounds like 17 ham radios intercepting each other right there, dude. Copy. Flint Flank Sky Mage, 3 and a blue, 1/1 flying. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. That might not be bad to get 2 of. Those things will become bombs quick. You were talking about drawing a lot of cards in your deck too. Since it's a mono blue deck, I'd suggest Scepter of Eternal Glory, Throne of Eldraine, and Cage Sun. My personal favorite's mono. My personal favorite monocolor. Cage Sun's great. Give your stuff 1/1 and double all your mana. Throne of Eldraine, I always forget what that does exactly. Choose a color, tap it, add 4 mana of the chosen color, pay 3 and tap it, draw 2 cards, spend only mana of the chosen color to activate this ability. That's such a good card. Throne of Eldraine's so good. What is Eternal Glory? Eternal Glory. What is that? I don't see an Eternal Glory. Am I missing something here? Oh, Scepter of Eternal Glory. Was missing. 4 for a legendary artifact. Add 1 mana of any color. Add 3 mana of any one color. Activate this. Oh, what about a Nyx Lotus, dude? I mean, you gotta run a Nyx Lotus to represent your boy. Add an amount of mana equal to the devotion to a color. Good. The Great Gatsby. What's up? What's going on, my guy? How are you today? We got 23 people watching. I hope I don't say something stupid. I will. All right. Any last minute suggestions for Donell or Donal? I always say Donell. Before we move on to the next. I highly recommend Copy Crook. Copy. 2 and 2 blue, 0/0. You may have Copy Crook enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature on the battlefield, except it has when this creature attacks Connive. Sure. Actually, I like Connive a lot. Connive's one of my favorite mechanics. Great, love your deck videos. I was working on building the Magnus deck you made a few weeks back. Oh, hell yeah. Is it Token Flinger? She is sick. She's very, very strong. Also Chronicle. Oh, Chronicle of Victory. Choose a creature type. Creatures control the chosen type. Get 2/2 first strike trample whenever you... I mean, like with spirits, that seems really good. I don't know if that's the card you're talking about. I would assume that. That's all I got. Hi, I found you through the Reanimator video that helped me work out a lot of the kinks with my squall list. Thank you. Hey, not a problem. Domino Dumb. Appreciate you. Spellslinger. Hell yes, Spellslinger. Errant Street Artist is alright, but it's legendary and isn't a flyer. And I can tell this deck is thematic. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Oh, Chronicles. I thought you were talking about that. That's exactly the shit I'm talking about, LJL. Alright, we're going to move on to the next deck. Thank you for the suggestions for this first one. If you still want to drop some comments for Donal, feel free. I'm sure when they watch the VOD, they will still see those recommendations. We're going to move on, though, to... I'm going to open up my Discord. Yorsam's Zhao, Ruthless Admiral. He submitted his deck over on the Discord to replace the deck, so let me read from this really quick. Deck name, Zhao Sacrifice. I can't think of a pun. If you've got any ideas, please share. Strategy, theme, aggro, token, aristocrat, power level, budget, casual. Win condition, the best win condition of all. Hurt your opponents. Favorite interaction, Zhao and Elemental Mastery. Infantry Shield, love Infantry Shield. Helion Eruption plus Haste Enabler plus Xiao with a bunch of creatures. What do I hope to get from this review? Show off my deck, card recommendation, raise the power level, Patreon member, LOL. Thank you, Yorsam. And then over here, he has Xiao's triggered ability. Our triggered ability triggers when you sacrifice any other permanent, and it buffs all creatures you control. This ability will allow us to abuse sacrifice cost triggers to trigger our payoffs and create threatening combat opportunities. The multifaceted category is for cards that fit, at least relatively strong, into one or more other categories. Okay. That's cool. I like that. That's loyal. I like that. Can't stop Zhao. Damn. You also helped me finish my Voltron deck, so mad props. I love the videos. Keep them coming. Hey, I appreciate you. The Grey Gatsby. Immediately Rakdos. The muscle should be in here if it isn't. I do not see him. I do not see Rakdos. Oh god, I don't see Rakdos in the list at all. Oh gosh. Oh, dude, I remember this deck. I'm so excited for this. I remember helping Yorsum out with this one in the Discord. Hey, hell yeah. Okay, so let's see what Zhao is all about here. I just pulled one of these out of a pack, and then when I read him, I remember being like, very good. 2/2 hybrid Rakdos for a 3/4 firebending 2, which means when it attacks, you make 2 red that you can only use during combat. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. I mean, yeah. Like, you have, like, even if something as simple as, like, I want to crack an Evolving Wilds and, like, 2 treasure tokens, and my whole board gets +3/+0 from that. Rakdos immediately bumps the power level of this stuff. Does it now? Which one? Rakdos the Defiler, you said? 2/2 black, 2 red, 7/6 flying trample. Whenever Rakdos the Defiler attacks, sacrifice half the non-demon permanent. Did you say Defiler? Rakdos the Muscle. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, this one seems bad. Is he the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, this dude's busted. 2 and 2 black, and a red 6/5 flying menace or trample. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, exile cards equal to the mana value from the top of target player's library until your next end step. You may play those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Sacrifice another creature. Rakdos the Muscle gains indestructible. Tap it. Activate only once. Yikes. Sack outlet that also just lets you steal shit for sacking. That is big gross in here. All right. Zhao, Ruthless Admiral. Let's see what we got. Card advantage, big score. Cut the profits. Cut the profits has casualty, so that'll help us sack. Deadly Dispute has an additional cost to sack something. Pirate's Pillage. Rob the Archives has casualty as well. Unexpected Windfall and Village Rights has a sack creature. Combat, we've got Anger to give haste. Burst of Speed to give haste. Crash Through to give trample until end of turn. Dark Triumph to give creatures you control +2/+0 until end of turn. This is going to be good because our commander is going to be giving our whole board a huge buff, so if we can add on top of that with something, that'll help bring home games. Creatures you control get +2/+0. Disrupt Decorum to give everything goad. Dolmen Gate, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt by 2 attacking creatures you control. Such a good, very, very good. Especially when you have combat tricks and stuff in your deck. Goblin War Drums, 2 in a red, creatures you control have menace. Legion Loyalist, haste with Battalion. If you attack with at least 2 other creatures you control gain haste, or gain first strike and trample until end of turn. Ogre Battle Driver, whenever another creature you control enters, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. And Warlord's Fury. One of my favorite cards in a deck like this would be Hellrider. 2 and 2 red, 3/3 haste. Whenever a creature you control attacks, Hellrider deals 1 damage to the player that it's attacking. I love Hellrider, and if you're going super wide in this deck, which it feels like you are, with all these go wide buffs, I think Hellrider would have a great place in here. What else do we have here? Immediately Ragavan. I mean, yeah, you get treasure tokens that you can sack, and you get to steal stuff off top of people's decks. That'd be good. Is the deck going to be posted on your Mox field? Not my Mox field, but both the deck list do have links down in the description right now. So you can check both of these out as we look at them. I love Carter. I am convinced Carter Doomscourge might be like one of the most busted sleeper cards like ever. If you have any way to blink it like Conjurer's Closet, you just lock yourself off from being attacked. Um, when somebody brought up running Disrupt Decorum in my Kelsey deck, I was like, oh, that's a really good way to not get attacked. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'll do that. And then I immediately was like, wait a second, I can run Carter and I can run all this other stuff. And then someone's like, what if you run Taunt from the Ramparts? And I was like, oh my god, what if I did run Taunt? Long story short, the deck's pretty gross. I love Hellrider in here. Goblin Bombardment. I love Goblin Bombardment in here, dude. Oh, I hate how many goblin things come out. Sack a creature, deal 1. That's insane in here. It's probably already in here. Interaction. Desperate Plea. 1 in a black. Sorcery. As an additional cost, sack a creature. Choose 1. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield if its power is less than or equal to the sacked creature's power, or destroy target creature. It's a great card. Pyroblast. Counter a blue spell. Destroy a blue permanent. For the cost, as an additional cost, sacrifice a creature, exile target creature or planeswalker. It's gonna be good. We got 5 basic mana rocks here. Multifaceted. We've got 1 in a red enchant creature. Sacrifice an untapped creature you control to give this creature +2/+0, or sacrifice enchanted creature to give all creatures +2/+0. That's a great. Grenzo lets you get card draw in the form of exiling off the top of opponent's decks when it deals combat damage or anything does combat damage, and also lets you goad stuff. Nyla, what does this do? 4 and a black, 4/5. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard. If you do, you lose X life and create X clue tokens where X is that card's mana value. Ooh. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no clues, return target card exiled with Nyla to its owner's hand. That's kind of interesting. I don't hate that. Like, if you run Disciple of Bolas, I feel like you could run this alongside it, and you get pretty good card advantage. Professional Facebreaker makes you treasure tokens you can sack to trigger Xiao, and it also lets you sack treasure tokens to trigger Xiao to exile the top card of your deck. Warren Soul Trader lets you sack stuff to also make treasures, so again, multifaceted there. Whip of Erebos lets you whip stuff you've already sacked back into play, and then gives all your stuff lifelink. It's such a good card. Whip is very good. As far as payoffs are concerned, we've got Garna, Bloodfist of Keld, 1 a black and 2 red for a 4/3. Whenever another creature you control dies, draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, Bloodfist of Keld deals 1 damage to each opponent. Mahadi makes you treasures when stuff dies. Mayhem Devil deals 1 when stuff is sacked. 1 second. Phoenix Fleet Airship is 2 and 2 black for a 4/4 flying. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacrifice the permanent this turn, create a token copy of Phoenix Fleet Airship. It's such a busted card in here. As long as you control 8 or more Phoenix Fleet airships, they are creatures. That's such a good card. Actually, I want to try running that in the deck. I'm going to pick one of those up. I don't know what deck I'd put that in. I might make a deck just for it. That's really, really cool. Sorry, I'm going to look at chat in 1 second. Perforos does 2 whenever anything ETBs, so when we're going wide, it's going to help. Throne of the God Pharaoh is a card that I need to pick up as well. Let me save this. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. Disgusting card. Venerated Storm Stinger or Singer, 3 and a black, 3/3, mobilize 1. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. Great. Bolt Bend to bend the bolt, dude. Garner the Blood Flame, 3 a black and a red, 3/3 flash. When it enters the battlefield, return it to your hand. All creature cards in your graveyard, or sorry, return to your hand all creature cards from your graveyard that were put there from anywhere this turn. Other creatures you control have haste. Ooh, you could almost do something with Altar of Dementia. If you add Altar of Dementia to this deck, you could almost sack a bunch of your own creatures to trigger Zhao to swing for a bunch, but then mill yourself and then play Garna and then get all your creatures that you milled back into hand. Sack fodder, stuff that we're going to sack that's easily going to come back, or tokens or anything of the like. Bloodghast comes back when we play a land. Cruel Administrator, 3 a black red, 5/4. When it enters with a 1/1 counter on it. If you attack this turn, when it attacks, create a 2/2 soldier. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I think Cruel Administrator could probably get taken out. Elemental Mastery gives you a bunch of 1/1s that you can sack, which is great. Endrick makes your creatures turn into 1/1s. Infantry Shield gives you a ton of 1/1s when the equipped creature attacks that you have to sack. Krenko gives you a ton of 1/1s. Lagomos gives you 2/1s if you sack stuff, and you can also sack things if you can also search your library if you sack 5 or more creatures this turn, which is gross. Loyal Apprentice gives you 1/1s to sack. Oketra gives you 1/1s to sack. Ophiomancer gives you 1/1 to sack. Pitiless Plunder makes you treasure tokens to sack. Prosperate Bandit gives you treasure tokens to sack. Siege Gang gives you 1/1 goblins to sack. And Spawn Gang Commander. Spawn Gang Commander. I haven't seen this card. I've seen Siege Gang. I haven't seen Spawn Gang. I love Siege Gang. It's one of my favorite cards. And Siege Gang Lieutenant. Siege Gang Lieutenant and Siege Gang Commander are like 2 of my favorite cards. I've never seen Siege Gang Spawn Gang Commander. That's so cool. I want to save that. Great card, by the way. Seems really good. Sacrifice, Culling Dial. Sacrifice a creature, put a charge counter on it. Pay 1, sacrifice Culling Dial, draw a card for each counter on it. Seems pretty good, actually. Goblin Bombardment is in the deck. June is a sack outlet that gives you clue tokens. Phyrexian Altar is a sack outlet that gives you mana. Viscera Seer is a sack outlet that gives you scry. Swing spells, Great Chain Heist can give you an additional combat, buff your creatures, and make you treasures. Hellions can sack all your creatures to make 4/4s, which seems pretty good. And Sozin's Comet, 3 and 2 red sorcery. Each creature you control gains Firebending 5 until end of turn. Sure. Foretell, during your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast it on a later turn. What are you using all that Firebending mana for in here? Like maybe a Spawn Gang Commander or like a Perforos? I could see you using Perforos. That'd be pretty good. I'm just wondering where all this mana is going. Okay, let me see some suggestions here from chat. It's a lot of clue and treasure stuff too. Yeah, I like that. That is cool. Body count would be a good card draw. 2 and a black, draw a card for each creature that died under your control this turn. Spectacle. You may draw a card, or you may pay its spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. Oh, that's perfect in here. Yeah, body count would draw you a ton of cards. That's great. Saw in half is interesting. It isn't sacrifice though. It is destroy. So saw in half is a little weird. If it said sacrifice a creature to make 2, that would be way better though. Do you have Squee in here? Oh yeah, Squee. Old school Squee where you get to keep replaying them. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return Squee from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, Squee needs to go in here, dude. Or this Squee. When it attacks, create a 1/1 goblin. You need tokens in here. And you can cast Squee from your graveyard by paying 3 and a red and exiling 4 cards. Either Squee. Either Squee seems good. Oh, he's not even talking either one of them Squees. You may cast Squee the Immortal from your graveyard or from exile. Oh, bring back all the Squees, dude. Play Squee Goblin Babob and Squee the Immortal. There's a couple of little sack guys right there. Cruel Celebrant also. Oh yeah. Black, white, 1/2. Whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's really, really good. Crinkle Mob Boss. Crinkle is too slow. It's not enough goblins to make him really work. Yeah, Krenko might be a little too slow. There's the other Krenko in here, but he's got like other stuff going for him. Last Agni Kai. 1 in a red, target creature you control fights another creature. For all the excess damage, you get a red. Until end of turn, you don't lose unspent red mana. Ooh, this is great. Last Agni Kai is great. Holy shit. You get to keep the mana. Ooh. Come back wrong. I love come back wrong. I just bought one of these because I was like, wait, this is like a dollar card. Not even. It's a 35-cent card. It's so good. Destroy target creature. If a creature card is put into the graveyard, you get a copy of it that you have to sack at your next end step. What? Someone has a Golgari, like someone has a Colossal Grave Reaver in play. You're just like, I'll play 3 mana, just remove it and get one of my own really quick. Have it ETB, get the mill effects, cheat in some stuff. Like, oh, come back wrong. So good. Except I'm at Combat Celebrate. Oh, that other guy's really good too. 2 in a red, 4/1. If a combat celebrant hasn't been exerted this turn, you may exert it as it attacks. When you do, untap all your creatures. There's an additional combat step after this one. That's pretty great. Stuff like Squeeze too narrow, sacking 1 and recasting for 3 does very little for the deck because of how little mana it adds up. That's fair. Spawning Pit goes hard if we do in creature tokens. I like Spawning Pit. 2, sack a creature, put a charge counter on it, remove 2 charge counters, put a 2/2 spawn into play. This is insane in your deck. Spawning Pit is literally just a little, like, mini Crater Hoof in this deck. It just sits there, and how much are you willing to dump into me to get +1/+Os this turn? I should run Come Back Wrong and Whisper. It's just another Blood for Bones. 3 in a black as additional cost cast spell. It's kinda. Except you also get to just straight up kill something. Nuts. The Forbidden would be nuts in here. Really good suggestion. Sack any number of creatures you control to draw 1 and lose 1 for each creature you sack. Yawgmoth is another fantastic suggestion. 2 and 2 black, 2/4, pay 1, sack a creature, put a -1/-1 on target creature, draw a card, pay 2 black, discard a card, proliferate. It's such a gross card. I love this card. I love Spawning Pit. Yeah, Spawning Pit's very good. If you're in the right deck, like this one, Spawning Pit is absolutely disgusting. So black, red. I know I have some black stuff in here that makes tokens. Let me see what I've got for you here. I like Bitter Blossom a lot. It's expensive, but I love that card. I think it's good in here too. You just get a bunch of flying bodies on each of your upkeeps, and then you can just start pumping them with your Commander, start sacking them to other stuff if you need to. Yeah, Bitter Blossom is definitely one of my suggestions here. One of my favorite cards. I think it's actually good in here. And then Sinkhole Surveyor's not bad in here. You drop 1/3, it either makes itself bigger with 1/1 counters or starts making you 1/1 spirits when it attacks. So like either way, I think the 1/1 spirits is probably better because you can just go wide with your commander and buff up everything. But still, just a flyer that gets buffed up from your commander that just makes other bodies to get buffed up from your commander starts early. Seems pretty good. Cult of Absolute could be very good. It's free sack. Oh, true. Commander creatures you can own get +3/+3 and have flying, death touch, ward, pay 3 life, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. That could be great in here, especially if you run something like Bitter Blossom. We already got like the snake stuff that makes snakes at your upkeep, but stuff like that is very, very good with this. Jamie AGB. Hello, everybody. What are we looking at? We're looking at Yorsum's. Let me get this deck name right. Zhao? General Zhao? Zhao Ruthless Admiral deck. We're giving some suggestions right now. 2/2 hybrid Rakdos, 3/4 firebending 2. Whenever you sack another permanent creature you control, get +1/+2. Pretty good. Bitterbloom Bear would also be great. 100%. Inox Strike Leader might be good. Wait, who's that? 1 and a white, 2/2. When you attack with this creature and or your commander for each opponent, create a 1/1 tapped and attacking goblin. That seems really good. Sacrifice this creature tokens you control gain indestructible until end of turn. This is a $2 card. I need this for Arna. It's really, really good. Super weird art. But yeah, it's super good. Things like braids don't work because we're stacking for combat mostly. They still work though, right? Because it gets +1/+0 until end of turn with Zhao. So we'll still get that buff all turn. I still think that's pretty good. I think braids is pretty nice. Zulaport Cutthroat also would be good. Zulaport's great. Generic sack theme or to make him Voltron. I think we're going wide. So we're going wide. We're sacking stuff. We're buffing the entire board when we go wide. We have stuff like treasure tokens, clue tokens, cards that require us to sack. Tons of stuff that makes tokens so we can go wide. Oh, braid stacks at the end step. I got you. I was thinking OP braids. Which isn't even fucking legal. This is for a white deck, sadly. Newsgraph Mob is okay if we have reanimation effects. Inaka's white. Oh, that's funny. Also, Whisper Blood Liturgist. Oh, yeah, Whisper seems very good here. I love Whisper. It's such a good card. 3 and a black, 2/2 tapper, sack 2 creatures, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So just get 2 buffs for your board, +2/+0, and then reanimate something that you already did. What about the Sibsig thing? That could be kind of funny in here, actually. Sibsig Ceremony. 3 black, legendary enchantment. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Whenever a creature you control enters, if you cast it, destroy that creature, then create a 2. Oh, it's destroy that creature. It's not sack. That is so like nah. Wizards design team is weird for that one. Actually, just weird. Fuck it, run Blood Funnel. Oh, I love Blood Funnel. That actually would be kind of good in this deck. 1 in the black for an enchantment. Non-creature spells cost 2 less to play. Whenever you play a non-creature spell, counter that spell unless you sack a creature. Just turns all your non-creature stuff into like an additional cost sack a creature. And it also makes your stuff cost 2 less that's not creature. Pretty. How often are we attacking with Xiao? Because if we're going wide, stuff like Dragon Throne might be good. Is white not in the colors? He looked at the white card earlier. LOL, I'm confused. No, it's black red. I just didn't know when they suggested it. Underworld Hermit if we have heavy black. Hold on, what was the other one I was gonna say? Oh yeah, Dragon Throne of not Dragon Throne. Throne of whatever seems pretty good. Dragon Throne of Tarkir, 4 for an equipment, equipped for 3, equip creature as defender, and pay 2, tap it. Other creatures get +X/+X until end of turn where X is this creature's power. That is pretty good. You put this on Zhao, and then you're like, oh, all my creatures get +5/+0 until end of turn. Does that include Zhao? Creatures you control get +1/+0. Yeah. And then you're like, tap Zhao as well to give him an additional +8/+0. +8/+8. They gain trample as well. Trample too. Ooh. I like that. Underworld Hermit. What is 4 and 2 black for a 3/3 that you get a 1/1 squirrel equal to your devotion to black. Not a bad way to get some bodies. Henrika? Who is Henrika? Henrika Damnathi. 2 and 2 black, 1/3 flying. At the beginning of your end step, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Each player sacrifices a creature. You draw a card, lose one, transform her. She transforms into a 3/4 flying death touch lifelink. Pay 1 and 2 black. Each other creature you control with flying, death touch, and/or lifelink gets +1/+0 until end of turn. She's okay. Symmetry Matrix goes insane in token decks for card draw. Symmetry. 4 for an artifact. Whenever a creature with power equal to its toughness enters, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card under your control. Yeah, all your tokens can just be card draw for as much as you're willing to pay for it. Bringer of the Last Gift, though. 6 and 2 black, 6/6 flying. When it enters, if you cast it, each player sacrifices all creatures they control. Then each player returns all creature cards. Yeah, but we don't get the big buff then because we sacked our board. Unfortunately, because that is a sick effect. Maximum Carnage. Ooh. 4 and a red for chapter 1 until your next turn. Each creature attacks each combat if able. Chapter 2, add 3 red. Chapter 3, deal 5 damage to each opponent. Oh, not bad. Player of Malice. 2 and 2 black. You may sacrifice a non-token black creature rather than play the spell's mana cost. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the greatest mana value. That seems pretty good. Player of Malice is great in here. Oh, Henrika's beginning of combat. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Love Priest of the Forgotten Gods. That shit is a banger. 1 and a black, 1/2, tap it, sack 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life. Sack a creature. You add 2 black, and you draw a card. Priest is such a banger. Such a good card. Firelord Ozai might be decent. 3 and a black, 4/4. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, add an amount of red equal to that sacrificed creature's power. Until the end of combat, you don't lose this mana as steps. Until end of combat, you don't lose this mana as steps in. What's the point of saying that? That's the same as saying like you're gonna lose it after combat, which is where you lose it anyway. Pay 6, exile the top card of each opponent's library. Until end of turn, you may play one of those cards without paying. Yeah, that seems like a great outlet to dump some of your firebending into. Azra Oddsmaker is a little random, but always try to fit into a Rakdos deck. 1 in Rakdos 3/3 at the beginning of combat on your turn. You may discard a card. If you do, choose a creature. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw 2 cards. Pretty cool. I don't know how great it is in here, but it is a cool card. Bloodspore Thrynax. 2 and 2 green. That's not going to work in here because it's green. Mirkwood Bats is good whenever you create or sack a token. Each opponent loses 1. Fumulus the Infestor. 3 and a black, 2/2 flying death touch. Whenever a player sacrifices a non-token creature, create a 1/1 black insect creature token. Whenever an insect, leech, or slug or worm you control attacks, defending player loses 1, you gain 1. That seems great. All your sacrifice just gets replaced by black insect stuff. That seems very, very good. Are they intentionally leaning away from the Fleshbag Marauder or Cursed Marauder type cards? I like Ozai, but not enough stuff to do with the mana. That's fair. Lich Knight's Conquest seems pretty good. Or what happened to the music? Played one song and then didn't loop. 4 and a black, sacrifice any number of enchantments, tokens, or artifacts to return that many creatures from your graveyard. Seems good. Lich Knights is inconsiderate. Doomed Necromancer is okay. It's a little slow. I had Azra in the deck, but didn't like it. But it's one of my favorite Rakdos cards. Graven Predator Captain? Hell yeah. That's not. Oh yeah, Graven's kind of funny. 3 red black, 5/5 menace, gets +X+O or X the amount of life you lost this turn. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw cards equal to that sacrificed creature's power, and you lose life equal to its toughness. Pretty good. Oh, Yahenni's so fun, dude. I love Yahenni. Just gets huge when stuff dies, or gets huge when opponent stuff dies, and then we can sack stuff to get it indestructible. It has haste. Yahenni's great. Yorson, put Rakdos the Muscle in here immediately. Yeah, Rakdos the Muscle is disgusting. Flesh Rither tutors up Perforos? Oh yeah, I can. No, Perforos is a 5-drop, isn't it? Oh, Perforos. Sorry. I was thinking Rakdos still. Yeah, I could. Flesh Rife could get Perforos. That's true. What about Raphael the Muscle? Double all damage that creatures you control counters on them would deal. That's good. Anybody watching wants to submit their own decks so you can get them reviewed on Friday nights. I'm just saying. Lowe's a buck on Patreon. Link is in the description. Patreon.com/NixLotus. Easy as that. Mercadian Downfall is a backup damage push. 2 and a red for an instant. Attacking creatures get +X+O until end of turn, where X the number of non-basic lands defending player controls. That seems great. Damn. That's a cool card too. I like that. Rottenmouth Viper is interesting. Getting more and more counters and forcing opponents to either lose 4 or sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. For each counter it has. It's pretty great. Jaws, Relentless Predator. I don't know if you'd run Jaws. I'm trying to think of what else you'd want. Ayara, First of Locthwain seems like a very good ad here. Yeah. Just start sacking black creatures to draw cards, and when other black creatures enter, each opponent loses one. That's good. Bro, how is homie not running Dread Return? Dread Return would be good. 4 to recurse something, sack 3 to do it again. Haha, put Bitter Ordeal in. Two in a black. Search target player's graveyard. Sorry, target player's library for a card. Remove that card from the game. Gravestorm, when you play this spell, copy it for each permanent put into the graveyard this turn. Yeah, you sack 7 things, then for 3 mana, you just get to search their deck for 7 different cards and exile them. That seems pretty good. I feel like you want any of the creatures that get buffed when you sacrifice stuff. Jury, Master of the Venue is your best bet. Yeah, Jury seems really good. It's big when you sack stuff, and when it dies, deals damage to any target equal to its power. Westvale. Sacrifice 5 creatures to transform it, which is great in your deck, into a flying indestructible lifelink haste. That could be good in this deck for sure. Umidian Hatchery. Oh, I hear a fucking bug. Moonstone Eulogist. 3 and 2 black, 4/4 flying. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you create a blood token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Moonstone Eulogist. 5 is a little steep, but that is a good effect. If this is a 4-drop, it runs. God Eternal Bantu. 3 and 2 black, 5/4. When it enters, sacrifice any number of permanents to draw that many cards. Yeah. I could see that being pretty good. Meat Hook Massacre 2. That could be interesting. 2x, 4 black. Each opponent sacrifices X creatures. Each player sacrifices X creatures. Whenever a creature you control dies, you may pay 3 to bring it back with a finality counter. Whenever an opponent's creature dies, they may pay 3. If they don't, you do this. It is pretty steep, but in this deck, just paying 4 mana for that enchantment, that's actually just a pretty good effect to have to play. Just to be able to loop your stuff when you sack it. Oh, what about Cauldron of Souls. Choose any number of target creatures. Each of those creatures gain persist until end of turn. That seems very good. Maybe. It depends on on average, how many non-tokens you end up stacking in a game, because a Cauldron could just give you doubles of all those, especially if you add stuff like Jury, because then you can get like 2 uses of Jury, which seems pretty good. Fang, Fearless. Oh yeah, Fang is pretty good. I don't know if he'll run Final Fantasy stuff, but whenever a card leaves your graveyard, maybe. If we're doing enough reanimation, I don't know how hard we're leaning into that part of it. Humidity and Hatchery we looked at. I don't think I actually got to read it. Pay 1 life, add a black, put a hatchling counter on it. When this land's put into your graveyard from the battlefield, for each hatchling counter on it, create a 1/1 insect. Yeah, if you have a way to sack a land, that seems great. Oh, dude. Run Zuron Orb. Sack a land, you gain 2 life? Are you kidding me? You just swing at somebody with this in play, and then they're like, oh shit, block here, block here, block here. You're like, okay, you're gonna take these 6. I'll sack 4 lands and give them all +4/+0 with my commander. Seems gross. Victimize goes hard, sack a creature to get back 2. Grave Titan, slow but super old school. I love Grave Titan, make 2 2/2s when it attacks or enters. Tari and Soul Cleaver. 1 for an equipment. Equipped creature has vigilance, equips for 2. Whenever another creature, artifact or creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. You could also use the Blood Blade. Yeah, Blade of the Blood Chief. 1 for an equipment that equips for 1. Whenever a creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature. If it's a vampire, it gets 2. Vampire thing doesn't even matter. Blade is so busted. This is such a good card. Cards will not be leaving. Yeah, I wasn't sure how hard we were going into that. Blood Boil Sorcerer. Blood Boil. 3 and a red, 3/3. When Blood Boil Sorcerer enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Pay 1 and a red, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Go to target creature. That's pretty good, actually. I've never seen this card. Actually, really good. Zuron Orb in a non-green deck seems, without land recursion, seems risky. I think it seems risky too, but I almost feel like threatening the damage that thing could output is going to do a lot of work for you, because like people will just end up being like, oh, I don't want to block here because it might die because the Zuron Orb thing, or maybe they'll be like, I will block here because they're going to end up buffing with Zuron Orb, and then you just don't buff with it. I feel like Zuron Orb could be incredibly explosive in this deck, especially if you throw like a Crucible of Worlds in here just to interact with it. But even just alone, I think Zuron Orb is pretty good. Skittering Precursor. Skittering something. Precursor. 2 and a red, a 3/3 Devoid Menace. When you sacrifice a non-token permanent, create a 0/1 Eldrazi that you can sacrifice. Ugh, this is so good in this deck. Oh, LJL, you came in clutch. Skittering Precursor is disgusting. Carrion Feeder is a classic in here. Yeah, sack a creature to give it a 1/1 counter. Emrakul's Hatcher and Glimpse the Impossible. Four and a black, red. When it enters the battlefield, put 3 0/1s that you can stack into play. 5's a little steep, but that is pretty good. Glimpse seems great. Just as an impulse draw piece that also just gives you Eldrazi's that you can sack, or an Eldrazi that you can sack. Yeah, but then I'm taking myself out of the game. Rose Cutthroat. I don't know if he runs Fallout stuff. Claws of Gix would be good. Like a permanent, you gain 1 life. Yeah, Claws of Gix would definitely be pretty good. Woe Strider would be good. Enters with a goat that you can sack to scry or surveil. I think it's scry. Claws of Gix would be better. Yeah, Claws of Gix would be a great replacement instead of Zuron Orb. Pawn of Ulamog. That's a great one in here. Whenever Pawn of Ulamog or another non-token creature you control dies, you make an Eldrazi spawn. Red Cap Gutter Dweller. 2 and 2 red, 3/3 Menace. When this creature enters, create 2 1/1 rats. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature and exile the top card of your library. You may play that card. That seems great in here. Built-in sack, built-in tokens, built-in card draw. Macabre Macquarie. 2 black red. Put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Yeah, the sacrifice won't affect the board buff though, unfortunately, with that one. Grim Reaper Sprint. I don't think he runs Fallout cards. I think Redcap Gutter Dweller is great. What about the one that makes you a bunch of rats? Like Toten? Yeah, Song of Toten Town. X and a red, create X 1/1 rats until end of turn. Or sorry, rat tokens. This creature can't block. Creature you control gain haste until end of turn. Not bad. Just 1 red, you can give everything haste, or you just dump it into a bunch of tokens. Skittering Precursor. We actually brought up Skittering Precursor a second ago, which is an absolute bob. Skittering Precursor. Very good. Absolutely busted card. I did not know this card existed as well. Those knots in this list. Why aren't we running Prosper Tomebound, dude? Want to explain that? Do you not like free card draw, a Death Touch 1/4, and then also making treasures that you can sacrifice to buff your board? Do you not like those things? Tribute to Hirobi. Make everybody rats and then sacrifice it, and people sacrifice another creature when you attack, draw a card. Not bad, actually. Is Song of Tot not in the deck already? It should be. Oh, maybe it was and I missed it. No, I don't see Song of Tot in here. Evando Brush Razor. 2 in a red, 2/2. When you sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library during your turn. As long as you sacked a permanent, you can non-token permanent this turn. You may play cards exiled with this creature. Sack a land, add 2 red. This is great in your deck. Holy, that's really, really good. Tribute gains control of all the rats, so you end up with 6. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, then you just sack all those. Hello, handsome man. First stream I've caught since subbing. Oh, thank you, Mr. Kitty. We are looking at Yorsum's General Xiao deck. I always say General Xiao. General Xiao's chicken. Zhao Ruthless Admiral. When we sack stuff, our whole board gets 1-0. PMAC, I think you missed my submission. Will of the Obzon. 3 and a black. Choose one. If you control a commander, you can choose both. Any number of target opponents each sacrifices a creature with the greatest power, and then lose 3 life, or return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. I want to put one of these in my ball deck. Song should be in the list, especially because of Heliod Eruption. Yeah. What else? Would sudden spoiling have any play in here? Make all your opponent's stuff 0/2s until end of turn. I just like sudden spoiling. There's spoiling. Great reanimator card. A card that I didn't know existed that someone told me about was Life and Death. And the death side is literally just a 2-drop reanimate. Crazy to me. I didn't know that card existed. Sack Aristocrat style decks is the one strategy I always struggle to design. Don't know why. I struggle because they always feel the same to me when I build them. I'm like, oh, I need these and these. And then by the time it's done, I'm like, this looks the exact same as the other. This is a very cool build. It's a super strong commander. Anything else, boys? Any more suggestions for yours? Blood for the Blood God is great. That card went up in price. I looked at it the other day and it was way more than yeah, it's like $9. 8, 2 black and a red. The spell costs 1 less for each creature that died this turn in your deck. That could be great. Discard your hand, draw 8 cards. Blood for the Blood God deals 8 damage to each opponent. Exile Blood for the Blood. Yeah, in your deck, this could be a 3-drop pretty easily. Bonder's Enclave. Draw a card, activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. War Room. Pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity, draw a card. Gift of Doom is an interesting one. 5 mana is very pricey for me. But giving your commander indestructible and the morph thing being sack a creature is pretty good in this deck, honestly. But 5 is just so steep. It's a $6 card, which is crazy. 5 is yeah, a little steep for me. But hey, what do I? Oh, but I guess you can cast it for its morph cost. By sacking another creature. Yeah, that is pretty good. It's just a 3-drop flash speed. Give something indestructible and death touch. Oh, that's actually really good. I need this for kill scene. I have changed my mind. This is pretty good, and I need it for kill scene. Rose Room Treasure is such a banger. You just get treasure tokens when stuff ETBs, but if it's the second time, you get to fireball somebody. Threefold Thunder Chunk. Too expensive. It is a good card, though. Maybe Shadowheart. Sacrifice another creature, draw X for X that creature's power. Pretty good. Props creatures are too small. That's fair. No, but they get the huge buff from our commander. Our commander's giving +1/+0 buffs when stuff's sacked. So it's like you could just do a chain of sacking where you're like Viscera Seer, 3 things. My commander gives my whole board +3/+0. Then Shadowheart something now that it's got +3/+0 to draw a bunch more. That gives another buff. Pretty good, actually. Seize the Spotlight. 2 in a red, each opponent chooses Fame or Fortune. Each player who chose Fame gains control of a creature that player controls. Gain control of a creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain haste. For each player who chose Fortune, draw a card and create a treasure token. It was really good. The first meat hook would be great in here. X and 2 black. Each creature gets -X when it enters. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1. Sure. I dig Shadowheart. How about Kazul's Fury? I mean, yeah, fling something at somebody on the back of a land. Why not? Ruthless. Oh, I just picked one of these up for Kelsian, Azula. Super excited. Very good. 3 in a black, 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create that many treasure tokens. Then you can pay 2 in a black to sacrifice X artifacts to return target creature with power X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is very good. Damn, Ruthless is good in here. It's a great suggestion. Ruthless seems balling. He's also dripped the hell out, dude. That jacket he's got hanging off him with the little flowers on it. Woo. Man's looking good. Man's looking great, I would say. There's an Olivia that does something similar. Oh, Olivia's Attendant. Deals damage, create that many blood tokens. That's really good because then you can sack all the blood tokens. 6 is steep, but you do get a lot of blood tokens. Oh, what about there's one that you make blood tokens when your stuff dies. That seems very good in this deck. Oh, I typed in dies twice. Well, Duran Bloodcaster seems fantastic in this deck. Whenever this creature or another non-token creature you control dies, create a blood token. When you create a blood token, if you have 5 or more blood tokens, transform it, and your blood tokens can start becoming bats. We don't really care about that part. We just care about a 2-drop, 2/1 flying that'll start making us blood tokens for our stuff. Diabolic Intent if we're on no budget. Yeah, sack a creature to tutor something up. That'd be good. Liquid Metal Torque and Kirkish for some shenanigans. True. Turn something into artifacts, then start copying the effect. More non-budget filth with Urborg. Yeah, Urborg. Would you benefit from Blinking Commander? Maybe. I don't think you would too much. Baloth Baratil is interesting. Because goading creatures dying gives you treasure tokens, and then you can goad everything small. And those treasure tokens can be sacked to give you buffs with your commander. It's interesting, for sure. How good is it? I'm not 100.
I am 100. Welcome to the king, baby. Sorry, I meant the card Filth in combination with Herb. As long as you Filth is in your graveyard, you control a swamp creature, you control a swamp wall. Ooh, Filth with Urborg is gross. I like that a lot. Ooh, Ritual of the Machine is sick. This one where you can sack any number of stuff and draw cards. Oh, this is not what I thought it was. Ritual of the Machine. Oh, what I this. Sacrifice a creature, you gain control of target non-black, non-artifact creature. That's actually sick. You get a sack and then just gain control of something. I like that. Recompose, reconfigure. No, I'm gonna type in Oracle sack, Oracle draw. I think was in the name. 2 and 2 black. You can sack any number of like lands, artifacts, creatures, and then you draw that many cards. Reprocess. Boom. 2 and 2 black. Sacrifice any number of artifacts, creatures, and or lands. Draw a card for each permanent sacked this way. Reprocess is a seems like a pretty good. You're thinking reprocess, Itachi. Yes. Blanket of Night is cheaper per board. Each mana producing land is a swamp. That's funny. I never knew this was a card. Has anyone brought up Pitiless Plunderer? No. Is it not in the deck? I think Pitiless is in the deck. I think that's why no one's brought it. Yeah, Pitiless is in the deck. I was going to say. I'm like, I think that's... I forgot about Reprocess. Yeah, Reprocess seems pretty good in here. Wand of Orcus. 2 and a black. Whenever a equipped creature attacks or blocks, it and zombies you control gain death touch until end of turn. Whenever a equipped creature deals combo damage to a player, create that many 2/2 zombies. That's pretty good. You just get a shit ton of stuff to sack when you smack face with your big buff thing. It's pretty good. Ah, sorry. Very good, Lunar. I forgot too. I looked it up. I was like, hell yeah. Wand of Orcus is very, very good. I might need that for Taval. Oh, sorry. Feel my rib hurt. I got a couple belches coming. All right. Any last minute suggestions before we hop off here? Reaver Cleavers in a similar vein says Itachi Uchi. 2 in a red. Equip for 3. Equip creature gets 1/1 and trample whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. Create that many treasure tokens. That's actually gross. E. That is gross. All right. I think we're hopping off, boys. I'll give you another couple minutes to get into some suggestions here. We peaked at like 28 people watching, which is cool. I don't think we've ever had that many people in here. I think like 24 was the highest we've ever had, so pretty cool. Dread Horde Arcanist. 1 in a red, 1/3 trample. When Dread Horde Arcanist attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to Dread Horde Arcanist power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. And then if you cast it, exile it. That's really good. It's gonna get huge with our commander, and then we can just cast one of our board-wide buff cards from our graveyard. That's actually a great one. Dread Horde's fun. You drop one. I like Dread Horde a lot, actually. I want to save that one too. It's a cool, fun card. Thanks for all the suggestions. Yeah, Yorson. Thanks, chat, by the way. I never really can come up with great ones on the spot. Chat always comes in clutch, though. So I can always count on you. Anyway, guys, if you want to submit your own decks, you can head over to the Patreon YouTube members page. If you want to head over to the nextlotus.com website and order yourself a Teneb the Harvester piece of merch, that'd be great. It'd help out a ton. Big shouts out to PMAC Dance Dude for becoming a member. I appreciate you a ton. Shouts out to Itachi, Traino, Lutura, Yorsum, the Red Cabbage, Johnny Exert, James Edelman, PMAC Dance Dude, JLJ, LJL, JLJ, LJLK, Mr. Child. We had a ton of new people in here today. Tons of new people that I've never seen before. So very, very cool. Always good to see. Thanks for all the suggestions. Love Dread Horde and Captain Howler. That's 2 months, my good sir. You deserve it. Thank you, PMAC. Appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for these streams. Love helping others, and the vibes are immaculate here. Appreciate you guys. Hey, always good to hear. Always makes my night better. So, thank you guys. Appreciate you a ton. I hope these suggestions were good for you too. Loved these decks, by the way. Super, super fun. Look very, very creative. And if you guys want to hop on the Discord, if you're already on there, you can help me with my Kelsian deck. That'd be great. Good hanging out with you guys. Have a good night. You too, Lunar. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.